What's good? What's good? It's your boy B Neil. Welcome back to Bryce Reacts. We here with another one. Today we're kind of getting in the weeds of conversation when it comes to rap comparisons, rap rankings, and why you might take a guy over another guy. And the reason I say that is just because usually I like to keep it strictly lyrical, catalog, and rapping ability, hook ability, and all that like stuff like that. But today we're kind of getting into how you affect pop culture and how hip hop is always been able to have a pulse in affecting pop culture and society from Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa with the weed smoking, Lil Wayne with getting heavily tatted, and people want to do stuff like that, being the double cup aesthetic and like shit like that, like and how Wayne helped influence that, Eminem helped influence that. Um, what else would I say from when I say Eminem, like just the drug pill popping stuff that kind of come on later in 2013s and things like that later on. I'm trying to think of other examples where you could just understand like guys affecting pop culture. But for the most part, we've always been able to see that. And today, like we kind of get in that conversation with Drake versus Jay-Z and who was more influential. Like obviously Jay-Z had Rockefeller. You had the like baggy clothes, wanting to dress up like not that so much like a drug dealer, but kind of the drug dealer aesthetic, if we want to just be honest. Versus like Drake, I think it's the clean cut aesthetic, having a nice beard, having a nice cut, having a cardigan on, having like maybe a couple different coats, and I think that it's a comparison of eras in a sense. But with that being said, the JVT guys got into this kind of debate, and I felt like it was somewhat interesting. So let's hop right into it. Excuse me.
Drake has never had the impact on culture that Jay-Z had.
I'm speaking
Drake
to.
can't even move product.
No, he can't. I've said that
Niggas
before. He
dressed
can't.
like Jay-Z, bro. Niggas did certain shit like Jay-Z. Niggas wanted to be Jay-Z. Nobody want to be Drake.
Yeah,
Niggas
because Armadale wasn't the great.
Niggas, that's the thing. I don't know what it is about the infatuation with niggas. Niggas I grew up with trying to be like no rappers. Like I'm sorry, that just wasn't a thing. But to act like we didn't emulate shit from our favorite rappers, that's a different conversation. Now I can't act like if y'all niggas was dick hugging Jay Z that much where y'all wanted to be him. Salute to y'all. That wasn't the era we grew up in with idolizing artists. We had, I guess, maybe TV and stuff like that. It changed our perception. Social media maybe it changed our perspective. Where you do get glazers and shit like that. I'm not gonna act like that, but. And you do get even people trying to imitate Drake too. Like you get a lot of Drake imitators. So it's not even like that don't exist. But the average fan, I don't think that was our like the goal of trying to like imitate like our favorite artists. Like I wouldn't want to act like or be Wiz Khalifa. But yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. So it's like I'm not trying to be the nigga though. Like so that's a weird conversation. But at the same time, I kind of get it. But then he's like, Drake don't sell. I don't know, man. As a Drake fan, I might not have could afford shit when I was in my teenage years to college years with a lot of the OVO collabs and like things that used to pop off back in the day. But it's like Air Jordan 10s, 12s, 8s, and the All-Star collection. Like, brother, if I could have bought shit like that, it would have been amazing. Versus like, I do understand how Rockefeller was almost like an everyday brand, like not like how Shaq tried to make it with his shit, where like he was like, I'm trying to make it affordable for the black people, but Rockefeller was in that same lane of like anybody can go pick up Rockefeller for the most part. Versus Drake, it feels more like the Drake aesthetic is more about luxury, quality when it comes to things that you may copy and emulate from his swag and things like that. And people may think I'm crazy, but I just feel like it wasn't necessarily so much the OVO brand that was like I want to go buy that, but like people understand how it looks and always said appreciated it. I feel like, but most people not gonna spend. Like, I would assume the jacket like that's $300-400. It's just out of a lot of people price range. But outside of that, it's similar to Yeezus. Like I wasn't buying Yeezus in my prime, bro. Like that just wasn't for me. But I could appreciate how it looked. It was nice. It was influential. OVO is nowhere near close to that. But what I do think Drake helps or has his impact in is where when you look at stuff like this, from the bomber jackets, like even just the clean cut suits, just the sports apparel, like you see plenty of guys that dress like this today, whether it's hood guys, like normal, just like regular black guys and shit like that on dates and going out. Like I think that's kind of where Drake has helped influence the next generation. Like I was wearing cardigans in like 10th grade, what this was like 2011 or 2010 and shit like that. So like he definitely helped like wearing boots and like I say dressing more tailored in a sense. I think he helped curate that part of this generation that people not really necessarily understanding when it comes to his effect on pop culture. Like I was talking to ChatGPT just trying to get like pick his brain in a sense, and it talked about. Let me see what it says. Designer jacket, fitted clothes, luxury streetwear, minimalist fashion. Like that's the perfect example. It's not over the top, but like it still looked really put together in a sense. And that's the average kind of like guy from like 23 years old, 24 years old right now, all the way to like 35, 38 years old, probably even up to like 45 at this point. If I'm talking about some of the average 45-year-olds I'd be seeing around the way in Houston and stuff like that. So that's where I would say versus like we're wearing super baggy clothes, tall tees and shit like that we was doing in the early 2000s. Like it was a clean change like from Kanye, because Kanye wasn't coming straight out with Yeezys. Let's be real. It was polos and shell tops. And then you came into like with Drake helping to influence that as well. Like, I'm not gonna sit up and say Drake was the only one that pushed that. Like Kid Cudi helped push that a little bit, but Drake definitely helped the younger generation be comfortable with leaning into that. I think they even said it helped popularize. He helped popularize the clean beard and shit like that. Let's be real. It was James Harden and Drake. Like it was a couple niggas in that era that helped the younger generation find a new sauce and what they felt was appealing and things like that. So when he say no one wanted to be like Drake, it's not necessarily, it's true to a degree, but at the same time, niggas was definitely taking little things here and there that Drake was, modernizing in a sense.
And that shit was trash. And he sold it. And I remember driving from fucking Brooklyn to go get them dumbass Reeboks. And I drove to Brooklyn and paid $200 for them fucking Reeboks. Like, again, yes, niggas, Jay-Z had niggas that was spending $400 and $500 and $600 on jerseys. Stop wearing their jerseys. Drake can't even move these fucking Nike Nocta shits.
Yeah, I'm not sure about how much the Nike Nocta selling for the most part. I just know I was a part of the 501 era that shortly became the slim to somewhat tight skinny jean era. And I feel like once again, that was a part of the minimalist fashion and putting things together, having jeans that was, just better looking shit than them heavy, big ass 501s, bro. If y'all remember the 501 era, nigga, the whole motherfucking leg will cover up your damn shoe. It'll be so damn bad. Like, I used to hate 501s, but everybody said that was the truth. That's what everybody was wearing. And that was like, I think that was like that was like 2009, 2010. So shortly after that, you start seeing a clear change in like apparel and how people dress for sure. Like I said, I was a part of that era, so I seen it. I used to hate the tall tee era. That was not for me. I was more like clean cut, fashion week. Like I said, I put a cardigan on. I'm gonna put on some nice clean cut shit. Like I didn't mind that. So that era was perfect for me. And then you see like niggas still to this day talk about the quarter zip shit. Like that's a product of more of Drake era and what he helped usher into this this decade versus what Jay-Z was doing in the early 2000s and the 90s and things like that. Like obviously, like I said, he had with Jay-Z had the puffer jackets and he's talking about the Reeboks. Like it's there. I'm not acting like Jay-Z wasn't influential. I'm just trying to give context to why I may look a little different with Drake, because it's like it's everyday fashion versus like, oh, that guy look like a drug dealer, that guy look like a drug dealer, that guy look like a drug dealer, versus like the minimum fashion look. It's so many different ways to pull it off, from the sports to the jackets, the bomber shit. So it's like it don't necessarily like you don't look like you could categorize it all the same, where it's like in different boxes, but bro, that's all from the same line of like dressing and things like that. So I think it's an interesting conversation, man, if I'm being honest.
So again, his and y'all know I think Drake is dope, but his impact on our urban culture or on hip hop culture is nowhere near where Jay-Z's has been.
Chubbs is gonna call you.
Yeah,
For what? I'm not dissing that nigga. I'm not dissing Drake. I'm talking from an objective standpoint,
like
bro.
the thing that Drake could
but
speak
Drake
to.
ain't nuts to think that I'm Jay-Z.
No, the thing that Drake could speak to, like on What More Can I Say, Whole goes, there's never been a nigga this good for this long. Well, guess what? There has.
This hood or this hot, this pop, this strong.
There has now.
Yes, it has.
And that's that's kind of what he's saying.
True.
I could speak to that. Hey, guess what, Ho? There has somebody that's been this good for that long.
It's that, and even then on top of that, I think Drake, like, you see it with Jay-Z, right? He just did. He brought up a quote Like Jay-Z got plenty of quotables the OGs go to, and they just say this, they'll say that. He got a quote for every moment for old heads. That's the same with Drake. And I think Drake probably was even just as good at doing it or even better. Like, as far as just coming up with different quotables that really just represent how you feel about life. And that's a part of pop culture as well. Like, I bring up YOLO all the time. You only live once. Niggas made decisions off of that. Niggas was living their life to the fullest off of like just that type of brief, like quotable shit he'll say and come up with. So like that's I think the small nuanced details about Drake versus Jay-Z. Like I think they're mirror images of each other. Yeah, Jay may have him in apparel a little bit better. He might have him in guys wanting to dress like a drug dealer a little bit more. But at the same time, being a drug dealer always was like, nigga, that was rappers had rap aesthetics, but rappers took the drug dealer aesthetic. So it's like I don't know how to explain it, but at the same time, it's like looking like a drug dealer in 90s was always a thing. So it's not even that Jay-Z popularized that. He just embraced it and embodied that. So it also helps like his branding and things like that where niggas wanted to dress like him because he was like now the most popular drug dealer we knew because he was the guy that made $1 million off of it, if that's making sense. But niggas have been already dressing like drug dealers way before Jay-Z had fucking came around. That's the kind of like the same thing I'm having with the Drake conversation. Niggas wasn't as clean cut and dressing as clean. Kanye did usher that into a little bit, but Kanye shit still was a little quirky, a little nerdy. He'll have a polo on, then be wearing jean shorts and like high top shoes or some shit. It just didn't look right. Like it's all the time. He wasn't the most like fashion forward as far as appealing to me personally. Then you get like Drake, where more people start dressing clean. He wasn't the first person to do it, but I think he was probably more impactful with that than Jay-Z was impactful with niggas wanting to dress like drug dealers because drug dealers had already been like cool with doing that. With niggas want to wear big chains, niggas want to have the certain cars that the drug dealers had, the Mercedes and shit like that. So it wasn't like Jay-Z didn't curate that image. Let's be honest. So that might be something that we need to address as well. But I think when we talk about impact, this is another good example of how impactful Drake is. And just with Toronto, I didn't even bring up that like riding in the six with the walls. Like it's like it's just many different examples that Drake had made shit like cool for weeks to months to years at a time, and how we embraced it. It wasn't necessarily always in the clothes and impact as far as his impact. But let's see. I got one more video we can get right into.
Just a rapper. He's a walking economic stimulus package.
I would say at least once a week,
probably tonight,
I see an open table reservation with a personal note that says, "Can we have the Drake table, please?"
I want to thank everybody from the city for coming out tonight.
Drake helped revive the mostly forgettable Toronto Raptors by becoming their hype man.
When he came on also, it added that cool factor into it. It definitely rose ticket sales, it rose merch sales, and it rose the general feeling about the team. By far, clearly, it affected culture. The perception of Toronto by Torontonians is pre-Drake and post-Drake. It's a real thing.
Yeah, and I feel the same. Like, if I had frivolous money to spend on, like, jerseys and shit like that, I would buy me a Toronto jersey with the OVO shit on. I would buy me some OVO merch. It's just the shit is more out of my budget where I don't, like, that's just not how I buy clothes. I buy clothes on discounts and things like that. I'm at Marshall's. I'm looking for sales online. So maybe when this channel blow up, y'all see me in more OVO merch, OVO'd out. But I don't think it's more, like I said, I don't think it's due to people not wanting. I just honestly think it's the price margin. Drake said his brand, even the store that he has, it's set up as a Gucci. It's set up as a luxury brand. It's not set up to be a necessary everyday man's item. And it's an appeal to that. Like, I'm not mad at that. And like, when you do get it, you feel like you're going to wear it and want to keep it for years because how much you spent on it, how much you kind of always wanted to get it. And once you finally did invest in it, it's like, I want to wear this jacket everywhere. Or at least I want to wear it and show it when I'm going somewhere nice, essentially. So, like, you got to respect the guy for wanting to have a brand like that, like how Yeezus was in the middle. Yeezus was like that. It was in the middle of OVO, kind of in a sense of like how I think Drake want to like set his price market versus where Rockefeller set is at. And it's not, when I say down here, it's not bad, because trying to have shit for the everyday man, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just as impressive as trying to build a luxury brand and wanting to stick out in his own way. So it's just different methods. And then you got Yeezy. He was like somewhere in the middle where it was damn near every man brand, because you could go buy the slippers and shit, like some of the shirts and stuff that is affordable. But then like the Yeezys, like Adidas and stuff like that, that shit 500, 1,500, shit, sometimes even 15,000, depending on if we talk about the Red Octobers and shit like that. So like that shit could get just like top echelon clothing, and it's appeal in that as well, especially when you talk about hip hop and how a lot of people love like having that one of one type thing. And there's always like it's just as it's having that, it's cool to be an everyday man type of clothing and appeal. It's also cool being like, man, it's limited edition. It's only gonna be 100 of these or 1,000 of these, or this is a one-of-one piece. And I think Drake is more on that limited edition type shit. We're gonna have this brand thing that we do here and there where it's like a pop out, but if you miss it there, you missed pretty much the whole era that you can't really just get back unless you buying resales and things like that. So it's always been a market for that, especially with me, you know, being on YouTube, watching people sell cards and most like, you know, sports memorabilia and stuff like that. So I think obviously you look at Drake and his, like what he also collects, you can see where his mindset kind of is when it comes to like what he wants to display when it comes to his art as well, as far as clothing and things like that.
Everywhere Drake eats, grabs a mic, or shoots a music video has seen an impact. So have dozens of places he's probably never even been to. A while back, Drake popularized calling Toronto the Six after the 416 area code. And ever since, Toronto's been swamped by 6 computer stores, 6 SoulCycle classes, and even a 6 Indian food restaurant.
I have to be honest, in terms of looking at Drake, he's done a lot more than I had been aware of.
Gordon Hendren does marketing consulting for major brands in Toronto, and he says the Drake brand is directly feeding into Toronto's $8.8 billion tourism economy.
How much is Drake's cosign worth to the city of Toronto, to the economy?
We did some calculations that suggest that he's worth about $440 million to the Toronto economy.
440 million.
440 million. There are a number of factors that go into that calculation.
A year. That's a year.
But we gave Drake 5% of that $8.8 billion.
Drake.
That's utterly insane when you talk about like just that city alone. And it speaks to how fortunate Drake was, because being able to build up something from the ground up when versus already kind of existing, like a New York like culture was already existed, Compton, a West Coast culture already existed. So when you come up, like it's you almost following behind other people's footprints versus like Drake and was what he was able to do with the 6 in Toronto. He just like that in itself is, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's an accomplishment, but I'm more just saying like it's a part of the vibe like he was able to create. Like he had so much like of an open canvas to like show the world and things like that. Like, and how it like transitioned to even Toronto being like a popular spot. Like Toronto's always been a spot for tourism and things like that, but how he made it cool. Like niggas didn't used to want to play for the Raptors or talk about the Raptors. They was irrelevant. Now, like they said, it's a thing where they actually a cultural like significance based on just being tied to Drake. Like you see the Iceman chairs are there. You see like Drake might have had a meme or two based on just sitting on the sideline. It's like that type of shit is culturally impactful. And the fact that he was coming from a place that no one really knew about, like had his own like challenges, of course. And it made it hard to probably trailblaze away because you had to do it first. But once you do trailblaze that way, it's like, bro, I get all the fucking credit. And you can see it now to this day. And I think this even brings up, when we'll wrap it up here, that Billy conversation again. If you're worth 5% to a market, like you're damn near like one of the biggest companies. It's like if Apple built a warehouse in Toronto, and it's like, yeah, he's one of these Fortune 500 companies came into our city, and look at what it helped do. Like that's what Drake is. Now imagine that with hip hop. Imagine that with the labels and the people that's working with him and how impactful he is with streaming. They talk about 5%. Imagine if it's 5% of what these labels is getting. Jesus, that's what these conversations really need to be talked about. Like Drake is helping stimulate economies, nigga. Like 300. Let me look up some. When I make some crazy statements, I don't want to misspeak. This nigga Drake is worth more than some countries' total net worth, bro. Oh no, they say population. What the fuck? That just pissed me off. Okay. I was getting carried away. So yeah, I looked it up now. He's not worth more than some countries, but I was like, that's a lot of fucking money. He'd probably be worth more than some states. That might be a conversation, but just in general, like it's money that's kind of unfathomable when you talk about 5% of a total like economy as big as Toronto. Like that's utterly impressive, and I don't think most people or artists could really say anything like that ever, probably. But with that being said, man, it's been fun. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. We're on the road to 500, trying to drop every day till we hit it, man. We up out this thing, man. Peace.